to discuss knee joint today. Okay. So, what are the knee joint? When you have considered this is the largest joint what we have and most complicated joint in the body. Okay, and most superficial joint what you can palpate. So, what type of joint it is? It is hinge type of synovial joint. So, can you tell me what are the bones which are taking part in the formation of this joint? Imad, what are the bones participating in the formation of knee joint?
The femur, the tibia and fibula.
Fibula is not there. Okay, beta?
Fibula is not.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you answer like this, you will come to know what to exclude, what to include. Patella is included. Okay, beta? So
Yes,
we
ma'am.
have four attachments of ligaments, but fibula is not directly related to knee joint. Very good. Okay, now let us see. Like it is. Now, as you said, this is the lower end of the femur, then upper end of the tibia and patella. These are the three bones which are involved in the formation of knee joint. So, because see, this is lower end of the femur is showing condyles, medial condyle, lateral condyle. Similarly, tibia also we are finding condyles like medial and lateral condyle. So that is condyles are involved. You call it as condylar and modified hinge joint. For elbow also have used the same word. What do you mean by hinge joint? That means movement is possible only in one direction. You cannot take it backwards, isn't it? So it is modified because flexion and extension is the primary movement. You can elicit on your own joint when we are discussing. So of course, some rotation is possible when the knee is flexed. Okay, that is the conjunct rotation. It's called as, and the transverse axis
So
is
lamb வந்து
not fixed.
every product will be இல்லப்பா இல்லப்பா comparison of people.
Ritika, can you please mute better? There is some disturbance. Okay. So then now it is moving like transverse axis is not fixed and moves forwards during extension and backwards during flexion. Okay. Knee joint is a very important essay question. So the three important bones what we have is the lower end of the femur, then upper end of the tibia, and anteriorly you have patella. Okay. Fibula is not directly involved in the joint. Though we have the attachments of ligaments, but it is not directly involved in the formation of joint. The combinations, if you remember, for the elbow joint also, we have seen humeroradial, humeroulnar, isn't it? Then superior radioulnar, like that, the joints were. So like that, here also the combinations of the three primitive joint cavities, like between the femur and patella, this point, you call it as femoropatellar. Then see, this is the medial condyle is this and lateral condyle is this. Okay, so that means see medial condylar and lateral condylar. So medial condylar joint is between the medial condyle of the femur and the corresponding medial condyle of the tibia. Similarly, lateral condylar joint is nothing but the joint between the lateral condyle of the femur and lateral condyle of the tibia. Patellofemoral is between the patella and patellar surface of femur. Okay, the stability of knee joint, it depends upon the strength and action of surrounding muscles and their tendons. Can you just fast list out what are the various muscles we have in the front of the thigh? Emma? Quadriceps femoris, fasciitis medialis, intermedius, lateralis, and rectus femoris. Behind, Imad?
Hamstring muscles, semitendinosus, semimembranosus, adductor magnus, and biceps femoris.
Very good. Medial compartment?
Pectineus, adductor longus, gracilis, adductor brevis, adductor magnus.
Very good. So the strength is all because of the action of surrounding muscles and their tendons. Do you remember what are gyropes?
Gracilis, semitendinosus, and semimembranosus.
Sartorius, gracilis,
Sorry,
and
sartorius.
semitendinosus. Each muscle is coming from each compartment. Anterior compartment, sartorius. Medial compartment, gracilis. Posterior compartment, semitendinosus. Like that you remember. Okay. So not only that, we have ligaments which are connecting the femur and tibia. What is that ligament which is formed as a final ligament of the quadriceps femoris muscle, which is getting attached here at the tibial tuberosity? All quadriceps femoris muscle, they form
Ligamentum patellae.
very good, ligamentum patellae. Where are these muscles getting inserted? Anterior compartment of the thigh. Where do they get inserted? Into which bone? Patella. Isn't it? Facetus intermedius, medialis, lateralis, and biceps. Okay. Then now let us see what are like any joint and what are the, first of all we should know what type of joint it is, what are the articulating bones taking part, then what are the ligaments, what are the surrounding muscles, then movements, then applied anatomy. Under these headings we should know the joint. Okay, and of course a clinical way of framing a question will be there, and knee joint is usually 100% essay question. Okay, beta. So like any other joint, the outermost covering will be capsular ligament. Just now Ima told us we have quadriceps femoris, all muscles are joining to form this ligament, which is the ligamentum patellae. So medially we have tibial and laterally we have fibular collateral ligaments. Like for elbow, what were the ligaments? We have radial and ulnar collateral ligaments, isn't it? Connecting the inferior aspect of the femur and superior aspect of the tibia and fibula. We have tibia only, not fibula. We have anterior and posterior cruciate ligaments. Of course, very good pictures are there to make you understand. And the fibrocartilaginous disc, which is surrounding the superior aspect of the condyles of the tibia, are lateral and medial meniscus. Okay, these are the major primary ligaments. Apart from that, we also have supporting ligaments like oblique popliteal ligament. We have arcuate popliteal ligament, transverse ligament, and coronary ligament. So we will elaborate all these. Like any other joint, first of all, you have to start with joint capsule because the bones are held together. The lower end of the femur and upper end of the tibia, they are held in position because of the attachment of the fibrous capsule or the joint capsule. Thickening over the capsule is nothing but ligaments. So now you see here, this is the capsular ligament, a thin fibrous sac which is surrounding the joint. Okay, now if you just observe this picture, this is the anterior aspect of the lower end of the femur where you are finding this is medial condyle, this is lateral condyle. The bold lines are indicating like the capsule is continuous, whereas the dotted lines are indicating the capsule is deficient and it is allowing the synovial membrane to protrude outside. As such, knee joint is the joint which is taking lot of friction because whatever activities we do, kneeling down, standing, like many of the activities are actually performed at knee joint, because of which we have many bursae around the knee joint. So this gap, what you are seeing superiorly, is for the purpose of the passage of synovial membrane, which is lining the interior of fibrous capsule. That is for the bursa. That is because its location is above patella, you call it as suprapatellar bursa. Okay, that's how. So the fibrous capsule is surrounding the lower end of the like condyles, like if you observe, then you are finding it is deficient in the midline because it has suprapatellar bursa. Behind, if you observe, like lateral condyle of the tibia also, again you will have a space for the passage of tendon of popliteus muscle. You remember, like the tendon of popliteus muscle is coming inside overall the origin of popliteus. We have discussed from which condyle it comes. From the femur lateral epicondyle. And where is it getting inserted? Above the soleal line. And this gap is actually for the purpose of this tendon of popliteus to pass through when it has to come and get inserted on the posterior surface of the tibia above the soleal line. That we have discussed many times in fact. Now see, this is the fibrous capsule, what you are finding, the joint capsule. You can see the tendon of this popliteus. We know this is the lateral condyle of the femur because fibula is here. Obviously, this is the lateral end of the bone. Tibia is medial bone. This is the medial end of the bone. So this becomes medial condyle. This becomes lateral condyle. From lateral condyle, we have the popliteus muscle coming, and there is a space for the tendon of the popliteus in the fibrous capsule through which it comes out and it gets inserted on the posterior surface of the tibia above soleal line. Okay, so whatever capsule, over this capsule, whatever thickenings are there, you call them as various ligaments we have, isn't it? So now you see, this is, what is the name of this muscle in front of the thigh? Quadriceps femoris. Okay, what is this ligament, Imad?
Which ligament?
This one.
Ligamentum patellae.
Yeah, ligamentum patellae. Okay, or the patellar ligament. So now see here, this we are now talking about the capsule. So it is, capsule is strengthened posteriorly. We have other ligaments also. This we are going to elaborate. I will show you what is oblique popliteal ligament. For now, these are the supporting like ligaments which are surrounding the capsule all around. Okay, so posteriorly we have oblique popliteal ligament. Medially we have tibial collateral ligament. Anteromedially we have medial patellar retinaculum and anterolaterally lateral patellar retinaculum. We also have iliotibial tract. Okay. Now see this, we are all talking about capsule only. We are talking about this bold line. Now this is posterior aspect of the femur, right? Anteriorly it was deficient, isn't it? For the purpose of suprapatellar dorsal. This picture helps us to understand the posterior attachments. It is continuous. Okay. Now, now see here, this is the lateral condyle of the femur. How did we identify? Wherever popliteus comes, you have to understand like this is the origin of the popliteus is from the lateral condyle. Okay. Then from the lateral condyle, we also have the origin of gastrocnemius. All these green lines are actually indicating the attachments of fibrous capsules. To be more specific, you can define like femoral attachment, upper border of the intercondylar nodes and adjoining articular margins of medial and lateral condyles. Okay, medial surface of the medial condyle. Okay, like 1 centimeter above the articular margin, lateral surface also 1 centimeter above the articular margin, including, that means inside the capsule only we have the origin of popliteus. Okay, then anterior surface is, again this is actually the repetition of the point, anterior surface is actually deficient because we see like, what do we have there? Suprapatellar bursa. Anterior surface capsule is deficient above patellar surface for the suprapatellar bursa. So these points are clear. If you understand the picture, automatically you will write in your own words. Okay. Then if you observe, this is, we have two condyles, isn't it? The medial condyle and lateral condyle. Now on the, this is the intercondylar area, inferior aspect of the lower end of the femur. Because picture is good, I'm trying to make you understand. We have two cruciate ligaments. They start from here. They actually start from the superior aspect of the tibia and the end on the condyles. That is the anterior and posterior cruciate ligaments. Okay. Now see here, the tibial attachment of the fibrous capsule, peripheral margins of the condyles, nothing but medial condyle, lateral condyle, peripheral margin. Again, it is deficient posteriorly, no? This is the, because soleal line is found posteriorly, but the passage of the tendon of popliteus. The peripheral margins of the articular surface of both condyles, including posterior margin of the intercondylar area. Okay. Small space for the passage of the tendon of popliteus. In front, both condyles, it is carried downwards, the capsule is carried downwards up to the tibial tuberosity. Okay, then. So where do we have synovial membrane? Suppose this is the fibrous capsule, interior lining will be the synovial membrane. Okay, so synovial membrane lines the capsule except posteriorly where it is forwards, like it is in continuation with cruciate ligament. In front, it is absent from patella. Okay. So overall, you just try to remember like synovial membrane is lining the interior of fibrous capsule. Now in this picture, what are we able to see? This is the quadriceps femoris, four muscles. This is the tendon of quadriceps femoris. We know patella is a sesamoid bone which is ossified here. Okay. Then this is the ligamentum patellae, which is attached to the tibial tuberosity. Now in front, behind, everywhere green structures are nothing but bursae. Okay, prepatellar bursa, suprapatellar bursa, infrapatellar bursa. Like that, we have many bursa. Okay, now this is this brown outline is the fibrous capsule. Over the fibrous capsule, one of the ligament what we have is ligamentum patellum. Inside the fibrous capsule, whatever brown cavity you are finding, it is nothing but the synovial cavity, which is lined with synovial membrane filled with synovial fluid. Okay, this is the lower end of the femur, this is the upper end of the tibia, and these are the menisci. Isn't it? Medial and lateral menisci. Okay, so that is now ligamentum patellae already we have described. So it is derived from the tendon of quadriceps femoris from the apex of the patella to the upper part of the tubercle of the tibia or tibial tuberosity you can write. So this is ligamentum patellae. Actually, we can feel in our own knee joint. It is very much subcutaneous. Okay, and it is and deep infrapatellar bursae lies close. Infrapatellar bursa is this one. Infra means below the patella. Okay, so one is lying superficial to the ligament and the other is lying deep. Okay, superficial and deep. Infrapatellar bursae we have. Okay, then. So when knee joint is locked, all ligaments are taut. That means tight, except ligamentum patellae. Okay. This is one more picture which helps us to understand the quadriceps femoris, sesamoid bone patella, ligamentum patellae, tibial tuberosity. Okay. See, over the capsule, you have certain extensions like attachments. This is lateral retinaculum. Lateral in the sense this is medial end of the bone where we have tibia. This is fibula. Okay, lateral and medial retinaculum. Rest all we know vastus lateralis, medialis. This is rectus femoris, below which we have vastus intermedius. Okay. Now coming to the next ligament. We have finished fibrous capsule. Next we have finished. What did we finish? Patellar, ligamentum patellae or patellar ligament. Third, now we are moving to tibial collateral ligament. So tibial collateral ligament in the sense the ligament which is extending from the medial condyle or the medial epicondyle. The most prominent area in the medial condyle will be the medial epicondyle. So from the medial epicondyle of the lower end of the femur, it is moving to the medial condyle of the tibia. Okay, so that is the tibial collateral ligament. Actually, tibial collateral ligament is representing detached lower part of adductor magnus. Do you remember we have adductor tubercle here above the medial condyle? The insertion of the adductor magnus. There's a long insertion with openings we have discussed. Hiatus, no? That is adductor magnus. So adductor magnus further continuation is nothing but tibial collateral ligament. Strong, long, thick, and flat band fibers. It will have superficial and deep parts, and both are attached above to the medial epicondyle of the femur, just below the adductor tubercle. Sometimes they may ask you in why, like tibial collateral ligament is a remnant of which muscle? You should be able to tell it's a remnant of adductor magnus. Okay. And I told you it has superficial and deep part. So superficial part is long and it is attached below to the upper part of the medial border here. That means medial surface of the tibia. You have like this gyropes muscle, right? Just above the gyropes muscle, we have the attachment of the superficial part. So if you remember, we also have genicular vessels. They form anastomosis around knee joint. They are actually related. That means this the superficial part is actually covering the inferior medial genicular nerve and vessels. Actually, in Chaurasia, a very good picture is there. What are the structures lying above and below? Okay. So tendon of sartorius gracilis and semitendinosus cross its lower part before they come and get inserted superficially. Okay, now comes the deep part. This is short and it is blending with fibrous capsule and with the peripheral margin of the medial meniscus. Okay, so it is attached below to the medial condyle of tibia. Above, if you remember, semimembranosus is taking its attachment behind the posterior surface of the medial condyle of the tibia. Just above that, you will see the attachment of deep part of tibial collateral ligament. Okay. Then, now coming to fibular collateral ligament. What is this condyle now? Femur lateral condyle. The most prominent part, lateral epicondyle. From the lateral epicondyle to the head of the fibula. That is at the apex of the head of the fibula, we have fibular collateral ligament. As such, fibula is not involved in the formation of knee joint, but of course, we do have connections connecting the fibula and femur. Also, we have a ligament, that is the fibular collateral ligament. And again, it's it's a remnant of the tendon coming from peroneus longus muscle. Tibial collateral ligament was which muscle? Iman? Adductor?
Ma'am,
Tibial collateral ligament is a remnant. It is detached part of which muscle I said?
Dr. Magnus.
Similarly, you should remember fibular collateral ligament is peroneus longus. Okay. These are favorite questions of the examiners during time. Then attachments, like superiorly, it is attached to the lateral epicondyle of the femur below the popliteal groove. Inferiorly, head of the fibula in front of its apex. Okay. So now see here, we are finding all the ligaments. This is the medial side of the knee joint. This is the lateral side. That means this is right knee joint what we are seeing on the screen. Lower end of the femur and upper end of the tibia, tibial tuberosity. Here we have the tibial collateral ligament. This is fibular collateral ligament. Tibial collateral ligament is also called as medial collateral ligament. Fibular is also called as lateral collateral ligament. Inside the joint cavity, we have meniscus, which is nothing but fibrocartilage. Medial meniscus, lateral meniscus. Connecting the superior aspect of the tibia and inferior aspect of the condyles of the femur, we have crisscross ligaments, which are actually cruciate ligaments. Running anteriorly from the intercondylar area going to the lateral condyle. Medial surface of the lateral condyle, we have anterior cruciate ligament. Just behind we have posterior. We will discuss as we proceed with the help of better pictures. But you are able to see anterior and posterior cruciate ligaments. Menisci, we are seeing tibial and fibular collateral ligament. Okay. Now, accessory, that means supportive ligaments are there. Apart from these main major ligaments, see when you observe from behind, we have oblique popliteal ligament. Just now I told you on the posterior surface of the medial condyle of the tibia, we have the insertion of semimembranosus. So that semimembranosus tendon's upper expansion just gets expanded in the form of letter Y. So which is actually forming this oblique popliteal ligament. So expansion of the tendon of semimembranosus. So tibial collateral, adductor longus. Fibular collateral, peroneus longus. Oblique popliteal, semimembranosus. So it is extending from the posterior surface of the medial condyle of the tibia to the lateral part of the intercondylar line of the femur. Okay, intercondylar line. That means between the two condyles. This is. You can see this is medial condyle and this is lateral condyle. Between the two condyles, whatever area is there, that is the intercondylar area. This is the posterior surface of the medial condyle of the tibia, where you see the insertion of semimembranosus. Its tendon is just fanning out in the form of letter Y, forming the oblique popliteal ligament. What is described here. Then, apart from this, again we have some supportive ligaments. This is also seen from behind. We call it as arcuate ligament, Y shape. So, stem is attached to the styloid process or the apex of the head of the figure. We have used the word apex, not styloid process. In fact, when we were doing osteology, the posterior band is attached to the lateral condyle of the tibia, and anterior band is attached to the lateral condyle of the femur. We know this is the lateral condyle of femur because fibula is lateral bone. This is the lateral condyle of tibia. So two bands, one is anterior and the other is posterior. Anteriorly, it is attached to the lateral condyle of the femur. Posteriorly, it is attached to the lateral condyle of the tibia. That's it. So that is arcuate ligament. Now coming to cruciate ligaments. what are the cruciate ligaments? What is this bone? Tibia. What is this bone? Femur. So this is the inferior aspect of it. Wherever fibula is there, you should rule out this is lateral end and this is medial. So this is medial condyle of the femur, medial condyle of the tibia. Lateral condyle of the femur, lateral condyle of the tibia. This is the inferior aspect of the femur. This is the superior aspect of the tibia. Okay. Now, what are the various cruciate ligaments we have? Anterior and posterior. So they just look like this. They are inside the capsule, but outside the synovial, actually membrane. That's why you call it as intracapsular, but extrasynovial. They just cross like letter X. That's why they are called as cruciate. Okay. Now, based on their attachments, if they are seen in front, you call them as anterior cruciate ligament. If you see from behind, you call it as posterior cruciate ligament. Now, from this picture only you can make out. Do you remember intercondylar area? We have talked about the attachments of intercondylar area. London Medical College, London. I gave you one code to remember the attachments easy. So this is now the anterior aspect of the intercondylar area from where you are seeing the starting of the anterior cruciate ligament, okay, which is running upwards, backwards, and laterally because this is fibula. And it is attached to the lateral condyle, but medial surface of lateral condyle. Because this is the lateral surface of lateral condyle and this is the medial surface of lateral condyle. Is that clear? Now, posterior cruciate ligament is coming from behind, okay, from the intercondylar area. Then it is also running backwards, okay, and medially because this is medial end of the joint. Medially, and it is attached to the lateral surface of the medial condyle of the femur. Because for medial condyle, this is medial surface and this is lateral surface. Lateral surface of the medial condyle of the femur. Okay, that's how. Because picture is good, I haven't made. I've tried to make you understand. So anterior cruciate ligament. Now you can see very clearly. This is our superior aspect of the tibia. This is the tibial tuberosity, isn't it? That means these are the. This is anterior end, and this becomes the posterior end. Anterior to posterior, like this. Okay, this is our anterior cruciate ligament. Anterior cruciate ligament. So attachment below anterior part of the intercondylar area of the tibia. Then go above posterior part of the medial surface of the lateral condyle of the femur. Please ask if you are not understanding. If you are understanding in math, only
Yes,
math
ma'am.
has unmuted. Okay. So now coming to anterior cruciate ligament, what does it do? It prevents hyperextension. It is present in front. No, it will check the overextension of knee joint. It also prevents forward displacement of tibial condyles, acts as vertical axis for rotation of femur. Then coming to this one is posterior cruciate ligament. So that means it is coming from the posterior part of the intercondylar area of the tibia. Okay, posterior part. Then you can see it is running again. This picture is in fact very good to understand. So it is running upwards, backwards, and medially, and it is getting attached to the lateral surface of the medial condyle of the femur. Okay, it will be written same above anterior part of the lateral surface of the medial condyle of the femur. Okay, that is how it is attached. So it prevents side-to-side displacement of femur and tibia. It also prevents backward displacement of tibial condyles. Based on their attachments and positions, they are named. Then we also have certain extensions which are called as coronary ligaments. They are actually not so important. The part of fibrous capsule only which provide attachment to the peripheral margin of medial and lateral meniscus. That part of fibrous capsule which is giving attachment to these menisci, they are actually called as coronary ligaments. Okay. So now see, bridging these two menisci. This is tibial tuberosity. That means this is the superior aspect of the tibia bone. Okay. Always you should look at this tibial tuberosity to like identify this is anterior end and to identify this as posterior end. Anterior to posterior. Okay. Then this is medial meniscus. This is lateral meniscus. This is anterior cruciate ligament. This is posterior cruciate ligament. So bridging the two menisci, medial and lateral menisci, you have a ligament. You call it as transverse ligament. Okay. So anterior horn of the medial menisci and the anterior margin of lateral menisci, they are connected by means of transverse ligament. Like we had one transverse acetabular ligament in hip joint also. Okay. Then meniscofemoral ligaments. So meniscofemoral ligaments, posterior horn of lateral menisci. All these are not actually important. Menisci are very, very important. So how many menisci do we have? Like 2 menisci, isn't it? Generally, these menisci, if you observe, I told you it is a fibrocartilage. Okay. So just see, this is the anterior end. So this is anterior, this is the medial meniscus, lateral meniscus, isn't it? So these are semilunar cartilages, two crescent-shaped intra-articular discs made up of fibrocartilage, thick peripheral border and thin inner border. Okay, so deepens the articular surfaces of the condyles of tibia. Okay, something like glenoid and labrum, acetabular labrum, which deepens, no? Similarly, these menisci are also deepening the condyles of the tibia. And they are actually dividing the joint cavity into upper and lower compartments. The upper compartment is meniscofemoral. This becomes meniscofemoral, this becomes meniscotibial. These are the menisci. Above is meniscofemoral, below is meniscotibial. Meniscofemoral, meniscotibial compartment. So, flexion and extension of knee joint is taking place in the upper compartment, whereas the rotation of knee joint is occurring in the lower compartment. Okay, please remember this point. Okay, now let us describe each meniscus. Now, see here, which is the medial meniscus here? This one, which is almost nearly semilunar. Okay, it is longer antero-posteriorly. It has two ends or horns. This is anterior end or anterior horn, posterior end and the posterior horn. Okay, and we know like it is attached to the intercondylar area. So when you observe this meniscus, maybe you have dissected it and seen also when you have cut the capsule and when you have tried to just open the knee joint, these cartilages, fibrocartilage will be very much clearly visible. So it becomes, upper surface will be concave, shining, white, glistening it will be. Okay, lower surface will be flat. Okay, this is the medial margin, which is actually convex and attached to the capsular ligament. Okay, and deep part of the tibial collateral ligament. This is lateral margin. Okay, which is concave and free. Then this is lateral meniscus. This is 4/5 of a circle. So anterior horn and posterior horn both are equal in width. Okay, it also gives attachment to meniscofemoral ligaments. Okay, so many points are there. You just try to remember a few. So now let us see what this menisci does. So menisci increases stability by deepening the tibial plateaus. I already told you, something that you can see very clearly here. It is deepening the superior aspect of the condyles of the tibia. Okay, so that's how it is helping in reducing the friction by 20%. That's the reason in old age, these menisci they get degenerated, cartilage gets degenerated, joint space becomes small, nerves start rubbing over each other. That's how you will see osteoarthritis. So that is basically menisci, they decrease friction by 20%, they increase contact area by 70%. They also act as shock absorber to protect articular cartilages during weight transmission and also locomotion. Peripheral part is shown in red color because it is highly vascular. We know anastomosis around knee joint, the blood vessels are situated outside. That means the penetrating arteries are coming and supplying from outside. That's the reason peripheral area is receiving good nutrition, whereas the interior area may not receive such great blood supply as the peripheral margin. Okay? That is written here. Inner free part is not so much vascular. Nutrition derived from the inner sharp margin is from synovial fluid. Now see, this picture will help us to understand the relations. I hope ligaments are clear. Ligaments are very, very important. Let us summarize just names. We have seen fibrous capsule, we have seen ligamentum patellae, then we have seen tibial collateral ligament, fibular collateral ligament, isn't it? Oblique popliteal ligament, arcupopliteal ligament. Then what else we have seen? Anterior cruciate, posterior cruciate, meniscus, medial meniscus, lateral meniscus, transverse ligament. Okay, these are the various ligaments you have to know. This picture has been taken from Vishram Singh. Everything is written here. This is the transverse section of the joint where you are seeing the superior end of the tibia. Okay, so this is the anterior end where you have tibial tuberosity. This is the posterior aspect of the tibia. Okay, then we have to check for the condyles. So this is the medial condyle, medial meniscus, lateral condyle, lateral meniscus. Okay, this is the ligamentum patellae. Now, anteriorly we have only one thing, right? Quadriceps femoris, ligamentum patellae. In front of that, we have the bursa preternatus.